Hello and welcome from the Frankfurt airport. We are here with Patrik Rieder. Say hello.
Hello.
Who are you?
I'm Patrik Rieder, and I went to the top 4 in the Madrid Masters in Madrid.
What could you win there?
You could win a flight to the Caribbean, and I won a tablet and a booster box.
So what place did you finish?
I finished top 4, so 3rd or 4th.
And what was your result after the rounds?
After the Swiss, I was 7-0, and then I only lost in the top 4.
And where did you stay in Madrid? Did you have a hotel? Or?
Yeah, we stayed at Rodrigo's home, and he's our teammate and our good friend, so it was a nice weekend. Shout out to him.
Yes, Rodrigo, pro. Okay, then what deck did you play?
I played Mermail, and usually I wanted to play Heretic, but we didn't have all of the cards twice, so therefore I played Mermail.
Okay, so show us your deck list and give us some comments what you would change or anything.
So the monsters pretty standard: 3 Megalo, 3 Toys, 3 Lindy.
So mono Mermail.
Yeah, 3 infantry.
So why 3 infantry? Because normally guys play like 1 infantry or 2 in the last formats and more marksmen, but you decided to run 3 infantry?
Yeah, I decided to run 3 infantry because Diva was limited to 1, therefore the marksman was not as strong. Also Dragoons is at 1, so attacking with marksman also only can bring infantry. Yeah, and it destroys monsters and
okay, so
cards.
destroying face-up cards is pretty important in that format.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 3 Pike, 3 Gandhi, best card.
Of course.
2 Marksman, because you have to play something that destroys face down cards, because this is a very back row heavy format.
Yeah. So you will always find a target, and you can also destroy face down monsters if you play against gear gear,
Yeah,
which
really
kind of helps.
Against gear gear.
Yeah.
So 1 Dragoons, 1 Lead, 1 Turk. Turk is really good because you can combo with Pike and Gandhi. You can summon Pike, discard Gandhi to get Turk. And then
yeah, I think the most important stuff about Turk is you have a second discard outlet, and it lets you go into rank 4 exceeds, which like with Pike on Pike, it's not as great as with Pike on Turk because you can use the discard effect twice and not once.
And you can get the Gandhi back with
Yeah.
Turk. So 1 title, second best card.
Why? Because of Dracossack.
Because of Dracossack, and 2/6 attack is really much.
Yeah, and you can trigger Gandhi.
Yeah.
And all the
Gandhi
Atlanteans.
lead combo. Yeah. And 1 Deep Sea Diva.
That's a prize.
I ran the Diva because there's a new Exceed that came out in Shadow Spectres, and it is Armored Copper, and it is really strong because once it negates practically all of your opponent's attacks, and you take no battle damage, and it is a discard outlet.
Yeah, and most times you get infantry, so if you have it, and if it you can destroy 1 face-up card and have a monster which can discard or something, so I guess it's pretty strong. Most people don't realize it because they're like, okay, there are no good synchros anymore, so why should I run Gypsy Diva? But yeah.
So the spells, 2 MST and 1 Book of Moon. I only ran
only
2
3
MST because I played 2 Trapstone.
Okay.
But I would play the 3rd MST and cut 1 Trapstone because Trapstone was not so great.
Not as great as we thought.
Yeah. So the traps, 3 Sphere, 2 Trapstone, 2 Breakthrough Skill. Breakthrough Skill was one of the best trap cards because it negates Fire Fists, and it also is very good against Infernity or something like Gear when they flip their armor. It's really good. It also is twice as good against Dweller because you summon Dweller, you use effect, you break.
Yeah, like you have a main out against Dweller because Finish Chain is not as strong as you think because everyone runs Mystical Space Typhoon, so most times the chain just get MST'd and it's like nothing happened. And I also think the good thing is you can negate Dracos, you can negate any threat on the board on your turn, so it really helps.
Yeah. Then 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Bottomless, 1 Abyss Squall, and 1 Mirrorforce. Mirrorforce was played because I thought there would be a lot of Fire Fists, and it's good because you need many removals against Fire Fist. It was also good against Gear because they made a field without Stardust, attack, Mirror Force, game.
Yeah.
So it worked for me.
I think it's also important to have like one card where your opponent has to be afraid if he attacks, because normally if you just have like trigger cards which you can trigger on the summon or anything, and then you have one Mirror Force, your opponent won't be as greedy as he would be, and it helps. It's a psychological advantage, I guess.
So now the Exceeds. One Armored Copper, as mentioned before.
Yeah.
The one Engineer.
Yeah.
It was really good because you summon him and summon Abyss-Gaias, and they can't overcome Abyss-Gaias. It's so strong.
Like, it protects everything. It protects Dweller, it protects the Shark. Yeah, Barmod Shark.
It protects everything.
It's
good. Yeah, then one Abyss Stride because I didn't have two. So I had to play one Leviathan.
Which you never summoned.
Yeah. So the rank 4.
Like, Abyssride also has 2/8 defense, which is pretty huge.
Then one Silent Honors Arc. It's super good. I stole a lot of monsters under him, and
yeah, I think he's
always
stable.
play it
He's
because
stable.
it's water, so it triggers your Dragoons. Awesome.
Yeah, like no reason to not play.
So then one Gunman,
Yeah, Cowboy,
one Bahamut Shark,
of course.
one Diamond Direwolf. I never summoned it, but I think it's a liability afterboarding against the Floodgate cards or against Fissure.
Yeah, I guess the most important part is that he can destroy spell traps, and you don't have anything that can destroy spell traps outside of it.
Yeah. Then one Abyss Dweller, really good against Heretics
Best
or
card.
Mermail, strong.
The attack pusher, I guess, is the strongest.
That's also super.
Like attack with Linde, which has 2k attack, it's Imba.
Then one Steals from the Roach, because I didn't have the Executon Knight, but in the next format after Viceroy's Berlin, it's also good against Lightsworn, but yeah.
Like, it should be good against Heretic, because you can negate all their special
Valor is
summons.
better. So, to Dracossack, best Exceed.
Welcome to
discussion.
Mermail Dragons.
Then one Abyss-Gaias, also really strong against Infernity, against everything pretty much.
Then I guess Big Eye.
Big Eye, for sure.
Surprise.
And one Master of Blades. It should be really good against Fire Fist, although I never played a Fire Fist, but they practically have 2 outs to it, except for the traps, and so it should be really good.
Or if someone plays Monarch, but like in theory it's also good, like just to have it as a safe option, but you won't summon him that much because most times you got Dracossack. But in theory he's great.
So the sideboard, 3 Maxi. It's not in the main deck because I expected, as said, a lot of Fire Fist, but it's so strong against the unfair decks of the format like Heretic, Infernity, Mermail, and therefore 3 in the sideboard is, I guess, a must.
Yeah, and you didn't play Veiler or Crow, why?
No, because Breakthrough Skill is better and Skill Drain is also in the sideboard, and these cards are just way better than Whaler.
Yeah, like we had the discussion and we decided that Max C is always better than Veiler or Crow, because most times you prefer Max C over those cards, and yeah, Breakthrough Skill is really great in the main because you don't need Veiler anymore, and it's like, yeah, double negation is always good.
2 Tragodia. Alongside with the Maxi, it is a really strong wall. If your opponent tries to decade you, you just go Tragodia with like 5,000 attack, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, and you can trigger it if you attack with Lindy and make like 2 level 7 and go into Exceed. So it's not as bad if you don't have cards in your hand. Like, you can always trigger it.
So the 1 MST.
For sure.
Dark Hole. Dark Hole was really good. I guess it should be in the main deck, but we opted not to run it because we were
unsure.
Expecting also some amount of Heretics, and there it is not as great against
Dracossack or Stardust.
Yeah. So then 2 debunks against Mermail, against Heretics. It's also it's also good against the Stygian, but most of the time you have enough to board against Infernity.
Yeah.
2 Overworked against Fire Fist.
Yeah, like the whole metagame was Fire Fist, but more than Fire Fist were Gear, which was quite a surprise for us, but happens.
So to Dust Tornado. Really strong off the sideboarding because your opponent boards into Fissure, Macrocosm, then Soul Drain, and it's most of the time more important to destroy these cards than to trap stun it. And yeah, therefore too really good.
Also, you can always activate it and then use this effect to set your spell or trap card which you need. It's like setting a, I don't know, a torrential maybe can help, setting a sphere or squall can help. Like, you don't have to set it and be afraid that it gets destroyed. You can always like set it end of turn and then destroy them on your turn.
Then one skill drain. One skill drain was because you don't want to draw multiple skill drains. One skill drain was always enough. Most of the time I swapped one breakthrough skill for the skill drain, because if you have skill drain you don't need two breakthrough skills.
Yeah, I guess one skill drain is always good because you can't draw it that or you can't draw it twice, so one shouldn't be like, the random factor is pretty big.
And one dimensional prison. Prison was a last minute addition because I wanted to have another removal and didn't want two Mirror Force, because when your opponent has the Dracossack or the Sandmains or Stardust, then you can just prison it.
Like you just have more options than just Mirror Force and that's it. Now you have Mirror Force and Prison and yeah, that can help.
Good. So that was the deck, and yeah, it worked really well. Also, I really like the Mermail deck because it doesn't run any bad cards like Aqua Spirit or Abyss Okeo.
Like you run a pretty consistent version, just the good stuff which we had before, like formats ago, and just adapt to the metagame with more traps instead of spells and not as much hand attaction, like no, how it's called, no Molten Glacier.
Yeah. Molten Glacier, I never missed it because most of the time you can't search it because you want to trigger the Dragoons to get Megalo.
Yeah.
And Megalo is really important in this version.
Yeah, and also in a format without Heavy Storm, most people will just commit their cards on the board and you have to handle the cards on the board and not in their hand. So.
Yeah. Good. So that was the deck. I hope you liked it, and comment the video, like the video, and also...
And any important shout out or news, because we are now in February, so what happened in February?
Yeah, we signed the sponsorship of TCG Market. I also want to thank them and also like their page.
Yeah, they will support us, so they will support us with, I don't know, all the stuff we do, so we will do more videos, like try to do more stuff for you guys, that you are up to date, because Konami doesn't release any deck lists anymore, and like at some time I think they've fallen in all their coverages and stuff, but they do a pretty good job, but it can be done better, I guess.
Then also a shout out to all of UnitedGosus.
Yeah,
special shout out to Rodrigo again, because he let us stay at his house.
Yeah, so, like we had a lot of fun time there.
Yeah, so thanks.
Yeah, and we hope that we win Wise as Berlin for you guys. We hope so, like we had a lot of problems last year, but we will come back. Okay, so see you, bye.
Bye.